am, like, literally still hyperventilating.
Oh, my heart rate has not recovered.
Yeah.
At all.
I mean, we open season 2, episode 1, and what is the very first image seared into our retinas?
Pure, unadulterated trauma.
Right. Pip is just on her knees, and the lighting is this horrific apocalyptic orange.
It's so visceral.
She is desperately performing CPR on some mystery person in front of a raging house fire, and we don't even know who it is.
Emma Myers is acting with every single fiber of her being in that scene. The terror on her face is just, wow.
It's insane. But, like, here is the absolute kicker for me. What is her idea of moving on from the trauma of last year?
Well, it certainly isn't taking up knitting.
Exactly. Does she seek out, I don't know, a highly qualified trauma therapist? No.
Of course not. That would be too logical.
She drops a highly produced true crime audio series that completely incinerates everyone's lives all over again.
It is the ultimate manifestation of a savior complex mutating into a god complex, honestly.
She literally cannot mind her own business for 5 minutes before someone else goes missing. And I am emotionally in shambles over it.
She is a menace with a microphone. Her chosen coping mechanism is just actively manufacturing more collateral damage.
Totally. But anyway, babes, welcome back.
Yes. Good morning, good evening, good night, good life. We love you, Snark Squad.
We are so incredibly thrilled you're here. The psychological mess we have to unpack today requires, like, absolute focus.
Oh, we are dissecting the architecture of a literal suburban nightmare.
But before we tear into the fabric of Little Kilton, we have to do a mandatory drink check.
Obviously.
Babes, the cranberry orange mules are officially back on deck tonight.
The copper mugs are actively sweating.
Yes. The ginger beer has that perfect aggressive bite to it, and the citrus is just balancing out the chaos. The vibes are immaculate.
A fiercely spicy mule is literally the only acceptable armor for surviving the toxicity of this town.
Oh, 100%. We are fortifying our immune systems against Max Hastings' audacity.
We really are.
And babes, we absolutely need to give a massive, chaotic shout-out to our girl, Charlita.
Charlita, yes.
She's slid into our DMs and explicitly demanded that we hover the show.
Ask and you shall receive, babes.
Yeah.
You already know the drill.
Charlita, you are an icon. You are the blueprint.
You tell us to analyze the drama, and we will immediately sit on the couch with a crafted cocktail.
Yes, and assemble our mental red string boards.
Exactly. We will psychoanalyze the disastrous choices of fictional teenagers for hours on end.
I genuinely have to just spiral for a second about this community, though.
Oh, here we go. Get emotional.
I can't help it. I'm getting so intensely attached to the listeners.
Same, honestly.
Getting recommendations from the Snark Squad feels like we were all just packed into one giant, chaotic group chat.
Just collectively judging poor life choices and seeking justice.
You guys are the absolute best corner of the internet.
And thank God we have this community, because the reality is, these mystery shows are entirely consuming our cognitive functions.
Oh, completely.
I am barely functioning in reality anymore. I am just a hollow shell of a human who constructs unhinged conspiracy theories.
Right, based on, like, the focal length of a camera lens.
Or the way a background actor breathes in a scene. We have transitioned from casual viewers to fully delusional fake detectives.
I'm out here accusing absolutely everyone on screen.
Nobody is safe.
If the barista in the background of a coffee shop scene blinks at a weird tempo, I'm immediately pointing at the PV.
Yelling, write his name down.
Yes. I'm like, look at his alibi. He clearly has financial motive. I fundamentally trust no one.
I am right there in the trenches with you. I am mapping out cell tower pings in a town that literally does not exist on a map.
It's a sickness.
Someone looks at their phone a little too long. Guilty.
Sociopathic behavior.
Someone orders a black coffee instead of a latte. Lock them up immediately.
Okay, we also have to confess something highly important before we go any further.
Oh, we definitely do.
Babes, we literally just finished devouring an entire cast iron skillet of crab dip before we hit record.
And we harbor absolutely zero regrets about it. Not a single one.
It is arguably one of the most magnificent culinary inventions on planet Earth.
It really is.
I am spiraling hard right now just conceptualizing the flavor profile. There is something fundamentally medicinal about a hot dip.
It genuinely heals emotional damage.
It really does. Like, whatever existential dread you experienced at work today or whatever traffic you sat in.
A hot, bubbly, relentlessly cheesy crab dip just wraps a thermal blanket around your central nervous system.
It whispers, everything is going to be fine.
It is an aggressively luxurious experience, honestly.
Yes. Consuming premium seafood mixed with cream cheese on a random weekday evening. It makes you feel like you discovered a glitch in the Matrix.
Like you were supposed to be yachting in the Mediterranean.
But instead, you are in your safest sweatpants, aggressively excavating cheese onto a carbohydrate.
The insidious trap of hot dips, though, is that you accidentally overeat while you were gossiping.
Oh my God, yes. We were just sitting at the island, fiercely debating the nuances of the upcoming trial.
Dissecting Max Hastings' witness tampering.
And suddenly I looked down, and the skillet was just barren.
I was physically scraping the caramelized burnt cheese off the edges like a feral animal preparing for winter.
I am utilizing this platform to officially start a global petition demanding that appetizers become recognized as full meals.
I will sign that petition immediately. Why do we adhere to these societal constructs?
Right. Let's just order 3 distinct dips, a tower of bread, and call it a balanced Tuesday evening.
Normalize the appetizer lifestyle immediately.
Anyway, babes, by the time most of you hear this, it'll basically be the weekend.
And you already know precisely what that means.
Messy weekend horoscopes.
We have consulted the astrological charts, and the stars are explicitly telling us that you are all on the precipice of making some highly questionable decisions.
Let's get straight into it. Aries, you are starting completely unnecessary drama this weekend.
Oh, absolutely they are.
Someone in your household is going to leave a cabinet door open by a fraction of an inch, and you're going to turn it into a sweeping referendum on respect.
You are harnessing pure, unadulterated Pip Fitz-Amobi energy. Just take a deep breath and close the cabinet.
Taurus, you are preparing to overspend emotionally.
Typical.
You are going to wander into a boutique and purchase a $40 artisanal candle that smells like, I don't know, rain falling on wet cobblestones.
Because you are under the delusion that it will fix your internal chaos.
Spoiler alert, it won't. But your living room will smell incredible.
All right, Gemini. Oh, sweet, chaotic Gemini. You are on the verge of double texting someone highly regrettable.
Do not do it. Put the phone down.
Step away from the keypad and maintain your dignity. If they didn't reply to the first text, they do not deserve the paragraphs you were drafting in your notes app.
Leo, you are demanding attention publicly.
As always.
You are going to select an outfit that is entirely too loud and structurally complex for a casual Sunday brunch.
And you will articulate your opinions on cold brew coffee at a volume that forces the entire restaurant to passively participate.
Scorpio, you are plotting silently.
This is their default state.
You currently have a highly specific nemesis at the local grocery store, and you are calculating exactly how to purchase the very last block of imported feta cheese exclusively to spite them.
It is a masterclass in petty warfare.
And finally, Pisces, you are going to be crying attractively.
Oh, the cinematic tears.
You are going to encounter a 30-second video on your feed about a senior golden retriever finding a home, and you will shed a single perfect tear
while gazing out of a rain-streaked window.
I honestly love that journey for Pisces.
Okay. We also need to take a brief detour to discuss the completely unexpected highs and lows of tomorrow's workday.
Yes, because we need to remind the squad that when we are meticulously analyzing teen thrillers,
we are both actively practicing dentists.
at completely separate practices.
We are out here on the front lines fighting plaque and saving molars.
And let me assure you, the psychological highs of the dental workday are incredibly specific.
A massive high is executing the perfect morning coffee run.
Oh, curating a very cute color-coordinated scrub outfit.
And quietly hoping that your 9 a.m. patient appreciates the aesthetic effort you put into your PPE.
A definite high is locking eyes with that one funny coworker over the mask when a patient says something completely unhinged.
But the ultimate high, the absolute peak of the professional mountain.
When your 2 p.m. highly complicated root canal patient calls and cancels at the absolute last minute.
And you suddenly inherit a 45-minute block of time to just sit in the break room, staring at a blank wall in total silence.
It is literally how I survive emotionally.
But the pendulum swings both ways. The lows are subterranean.
The relentless back-to-back exhaustion.
When you pull up the digital schedule, and it is just a solid block of neon colors with zero gaps for basic human functions.
Or when the technology actively chooses violence.
The panoramic x-ray machine decides to just take a conceptual nap.
And you are standing there, profusely sweating, smiling through the sheer operational panic.
The most draining aspect is the performance art of pretending to be energetically invested when your social battery is dead.
Right. Like open wide. How is the new puppy?
Meanwhile, internally, I am actively questioning my entire trajectory into adulthood by 11 in the morning.
I am emotionally surviving purely through the dual engines of iced coffee and sheer delusion.
I am constantly one minor, totally insignificant inconvenience away from abandoning modern society entirely.
Yes, tossing the sterilized dental explorers into a rushing river.
And relocating to the Tuscan countryside to open a vineyard. I possess zero knowledge about fermenting grapes, but I confidently feel like I could figure it out via YouTube tutorials.
I would absolutely be your first and most frequent visitor at the vineyard.
We could drink experimental wine and eat crab dip on a terrace.
Which seamlessly brings me to my next critical point. Babes, this weekend, we need every single member of the Snark squad to buy a lottery ticket.
It's a mandatory community exercise.
Because we are actively, aggressively manifesting limitless riches.
We are officially done trading our finite time for capital.
So locate a pen immediately because we're gifting you 6 completely random, mathematically lucky lottery numbers right now.
Are you ready? The numbers are 7, 14, 22, 38, 41, and 55.
Lock them in. I am dead serious.
Write those down.
If we hit the jackpot, I already have the blueprints for exactly what absurd fake luxury I am acquiring first.
Do tell.
I am commissioning a solid gold bathtub. I don't even particularly enjoy taking baths. I prefer showers.
But you want to walk into your cavernous bathroom and just look at it.
Exactly. And I am retiring from dentistry with such velocity, there will literally just be a cartoonish cloud of dust shaped exactly like me lingering in the hallway.
I am purchasing a private jet, but it will be exclusively utilized for the transportation of my future rescue dogs.
Oh my God, yes.
They need to experience the cultural richness of the world without the stress of commercial cargo holds.
The psychological importance of possessing absurd luxury is the engine that keeps me motivated.
I will be liquidating the winnings immediately into tangible, ridiculous assets. No diversified index funds, just pure, chaotic spending.
And just a binding verbal contract to the Snark squad right now. If anyone actually uses those numbers and wins.
You are ethically and spiritually bound to wire us a solid 10% cut.
We did the heavy lifting of manifesting it. It is the only fair exchange of energy.
We gladly accept offshore deposits, babes.
Okay, enough spiraling about our inevitable wealth, because we need to get into this mystery chaos immediately.
We are plunging into the unfiltered chaos of Little Kilton.
We really need to meticulously set the framework of this episode because the pacing is just incredibly aggressive.
We initiate the season with this profoundly disorienting flash forward.
Yes. 2 weeks in the future, Pip is doing CPR in front of that engulfed building.
And the director purposefully frames the shot so we never see the victim's face.
From a purely structural standpoint, it is a brilliant narrative hook.
It immediately establishes that whatever actions Pip takes in the present day are going to culminate in literal flames.
But then we execute a hard cutback to 2 weeks earlier to establish the baseline, and what is our protagonist doing?
She is sitting at her laptop, recording the final audio track of her newly launched podcast.
And we need to pause and examine the profound pathology of this.
Please.
Because Pip's concept of healing from the trauma of almost being murdered is to distribute a heavily edited true crime audio series.
Yeah, that surgically exposes the deepest secrets of every family in her zip code.
I have to push back so hard on her methodology. I understand the true crime obsession, but she lived it.
I know.
I was screaming at the screen. Why couldn't you just process this in a private moleskin journal like a standard human being?
Get a diary with a tiny padlock.
Why does this need to be monetized on Spotify? She says she investigated to fix things, but it evolved into a monster she couldn't control.
So her logical reasoning is to broadcast the granular details to a global audience.
How does that mitigate danger? It acts as a megaphone for it.
But that is exactly where we have to analyze the fundamental difference between Pip's stated intentions and her subconscious desires.
Okay, unpack that.
You are arguing for emotional logic, but Pip doesn't operate on emotional logic. She operates on a utilitarian framework.
Right.
She says she wants everything to go back to normal right before she clicks upload. But she knows hitting that button is like pulling the pin on a grenade.
She exposes that Elliot Ward is a murderer.
She broadcasts that Becca Bell is in prison for manslaughter.
She loudly details that Max Hastings is awaiting trial for serial sexual assault.
She isn't dropping a mixtape. She is dropping a targeted missile strike. And frankly, a part of her enjoys the power of being the architect of that destruction.
That is such a dark, brilliant way to look at it. She is addicted to the blast radius.
Completely.
And the tonal whiplash of the editing is enough to cause physical injury.
Because right after recording this heavy monologue, She casually shuts her laptop and meets up with Ravi.
And they stroll over to pick up Cara for a 1920s-themed murder mystery birthday party.
The juxtaposition is absolutely jarring. She moves from dissecting real human tragedy to playing dress-up for a parlor game.
But the universe doesn't let her compartmentalize that easily. On their walk to the party, fiction collides with reality.
They accidentally cross paths with Max Hastings.
Ugh, he is just out for an evening jog. And he doesn't look away. He doesn't look ashamed.
He locks eyes with Pip
Yeah.
and delivers this chilling, wildly arrogant smirk.
It made my skin crawl. Pip is literally the central witness against him, and he is out there doing cardio like a Teflon villain.
Which brings up a critical point about power dynamics. Ravi, bless his optimistic heart, tries to de-escalate by saying he'll be in prison soon.
Ravi is so sweet, but he is fundamentally naive in this moment.
He severely underestimates the sheer audacity of a privileged boy backed by a predatory defense attorney.
It is infuriating. So they arrive at Connor's house, and the visual aesthetic is fantastic. Flapper dresses, feathered headbands.
But the meticulously planned evening is instantly derailed by Connor's older brother, Jamie Reynolds.
Jamie is assigned a character role, but he completely refuses to participate. He just storms in and lazily announces his character is dead way ahead of schedule.
And retreats to the kitchen to isolate himself. We really need to analyze the physical acting in this kitchen scene.
Yes, because Jamie is projecting guilt and panic from every pore.
He is backed into a corner, intensely staring at his phone like the device itself is a live explosive.
When Pip innocently enters to return some headphones, his phone lights up. And his reaction isn't just startled, it's hostile.
He violently snaps at Pip, accusing her of trying to read his messages over his shoulder.
Which is the exact opposite of how you behave if you are trying to be covert. You don't stand in a brightly lit kitchen holding the evidence at chest level.
But before we decode Jamie's panic, we absolutely have to inject some Reddit tea regarding this party scene.
Please, the subreddit is always a goldmine.
The fandom online was collectively losing their minds over this 1920s setup, because it is a massive, direct homage to the Killjoy novella.
Oh my god, yes, the prequel book.
The entire premise of that book revolves around Pip at a similar party, which sparks her obsession with the Andy Bell case.
Hardcore readers were convinced it would never make it to the screen.
But the showrunners brilliantly synthesized it into the opening act. It satisfies the core fan base while establishing the thematic irony.
These teenagers are attempting to solve a fake murder, completely oblivious to the fact that a real disappearance is about to shatter their reality.
Because the morning after this party, the illusion of safety is entirely broken.
The hammer drops. Pip is in her kitchen, and her stepdad, Victor, delivers this completely devastating legal update.
He informs her that Becca Bell has officially dropped out as a key witness in the Max Hastings trial.
Let's just recalibrate for a second. Becca is incarcerated for the manslaughter of her sister Andy and the attempted murder of Pip.
But she was also a victim of Max Hastings. Max is facing trial for assaulting Becca and an anonymous victim, woman A.
Without Becca's testimony, Victor explains the prosecution's entire case is crumbling.
And this is where Pip's psychology takes the wheel. A normal teenager would feel terrible and accept that the legal system is out of their jurisdiction.
But Pip immediately deduces the mechanism behind the withdrawal. She knows Max intimidated Becca.
So does she report her suspicions to Detective Hawkins?
Absolutely not. She goes completely rogue and initiates a strategy so manipulative I was genuinely terrified of her.
She exploits the restorative justice legal framework.
Pip weaponizes it. She files the bureaucratic paperwork to secure a face-to-face visit with the girl who literally tried to end her life.
We have to unpack the mechanics of this. In the UK justice system, restorative justice is a highly delicate process for emotional closure.
The facilitator's sole job is to protect the emotional safety of the room, and Pip walks in and completely subverts the institution.
That scene was an absolute masterclass in tension. It broke me.
I was physically unwell watching it. Becca is escorted in looking incredibly small and pale.
She unfolds this pre-written statement and begins to sob, apologizing to Pip for the violence, for the betrayal.
But then she hits the line that destroys everyone. She apologizes for the death of Pip's dog, Barney.
The loss of Barney remains the singular most devastating tragedy of the entire first season.
Becca tearfully confesses she didn't want to kill the dog. She let him off the leash assuming he'd run home, but he ran into the road.
She is hyperventilating, drowning in guilt, saying she knows she doesn't deserve forgiveness.
And how does Pip react to this raw display of human agony?
She sits there, posture rigid, expression completely iced over.
And she calmly states, "I didn't come here for an apology."
The temperature in the room plummeted to absolute zero.
Pip did not care about Barney in that specific moment. She did not care about Becca's spiritual redemption. She was executing a tactical mission.
She demands that Becca reinstate her testimony. The facilitator tries to intervene.
Because Pip is clearly not there for closure. But Pip ignores the authority figure, locks her gaze onto Becca, and delivers the kill shot.
She says, "I forgive you."
I am still reeling from the emotional violence of that delivery. Pip weaponized the concept of forgiveness.
She identified the exact currency Becca was desperate for, and she dangled it like a carrot.
She manufactured fake forgiveness solely to manipulate her into getting back on the witness stand. It was straight-up psychological warfare.
It forces us to ask a very uncomfortable question. Is Pip actually a good girl? Or is she a Machiavellian operator willing to use villainous tactics?
Because right before this, we saw another masterclass in manipulation from Jason Bell.
Do not even get me started on Jason Bell.
My blood pressure spikes just hearing his name. Pip actually tried to go to Jason first, begging for access to speak to Becca.
And Jason completely coldly stonewalled her.
We must dissect the underlying economics of why he's stonewalling her.
Becca dropped out because Jason actively convinced her to. And what is his motive?
He runs a massive property development company. And who is his primary investor? Toby Hastings, Max's father.
The implication is glaringly obvious.
Yeah.
Toby threatened to pull his contracts and bankrupt Jason's firm if he didn't silence his daughter.
Jason Bell evaluated the situation, weighed his daughter's trauma against his profit margins, and chose his bank account.
He is actively protecting his corporate interests by suppressing a victim of sexual assault. He's a calculating coward.
He is the absolute lowest form of human garbage, treating his daughter's trauma like a depreciating asset on a spreadsheet.
And while the adults are trading favors, Max Hastings is operating with complete impunity.
After the prison scene, Pip is having dinner with the new neighbors, the Greens.
Who casually mention they are huge fans of her crime podcast, which is horrifying.
Right. During this dinner, Pip hears a noise, walks into the hallway, and sees someone has violently shoved a newspaper through the mail slot.
But this isn't the daily crossword. It is a highly specific, customized threat.
The newspaper features a front-page article about Pip, but the intruder has taken a roll of thick, silver industrial duct tape and physically adhered it over her mouth in the photo.
And written just below the image, planning a funeral.
It is a literal death threat delivered with psychotic arts and crafts.
Max is treating felony-level witness tampering like a weekend scrapbooking project on Pinterest.
He is leaving a physical, tangible trail of intimidation.
And he fundamentally does not care, because he believes he is untouchable. He escalates from anonymous mail to physical ambush.
Later that week, the town gathers for a memorial service for Andy and Sal. Ravi is delivering this beautiful speech.
But Pip isn't in the crowd supporting him. Where is she?
Lurking alone in a pitch-black, fog-covered graveyard. Because someone slipped a note into her locker promising information on Max.
Which was so transparently a trap.
I was screaming, "Do not go into the fog, Pip." And of course, Max Hastings steps out from behind a tombstone.
He drops the pretense completely. He corners her, uses his physical size to intimidate her, and delivers an ultimatum.
He tells Pip that if she does not refuse to testify, he will have his father vaporize Ravi's highly coveted legal internship in London.
Weaponizing his family's generational wealth to destroy her boyfriend's future. And then he just strolls away into the mist.
Max's behavior is deplorable, but it also highlights the collateral damage Pip initiated by launching the podcast.
Which brings us to Cara's devastating downward spiral.
Oh my God, poor Cara. My heart physically aches for her.
Pip tracks her down to a calamity party in the woods. Cara is slumped against a tree, completely blacked out.
She admits she has been heavily spiking her drinks with straight gin to numb the pain. And when Pip tries to comfort her, Cara completely fractures.
She unleashes years of repressed trauma directly onto Pip.
She looks her best friend in the eye and screams, "You ruined my life. If you hadn't started your stupid project, I would still have my family."
And it is brutal to hear, because Cara lists the devastation. Her father is locked away in maximum security. Her sister fled. Her mother is gone.
Cara is fundamentally an orphan, and she feels the ultimate betrayal is that Pip is broadcasting this family shame on a public platform for strangers to consume as entertainment.
And this is where we need to have a serious debate. I am going to ask the question, is Cara right?
I mean, I feel a profound sorrow for Cara. She's grieving her entire support system. but I have to fiercely defend Pip's core objective.
Okay, let's hear it.
Pip uncovered a literal serial killer. Elliot Ward murdered Sal Singh and kept a woman locked in his attic. You cannot allow a monster to walk the streets just to preserve the illusion of a happy family for his daughter.
I'm not debating the necessity of his incarceration. He belongs behind bars.
Right. The truth has to matter more than comfort.
But I am going to be highly analytical and shady about Pip's methodology. Pip did detonate Cara's life.
Yeah, I guess so.
The truth needed to come out, yes. But Pip absolutely did not have to turn that truth into a serialized, monetized public spectacle.
Ugh, that's true.
She did not have to record a podcast with dramatic music and cliffhangers. Pip's relentless pursuit of the truth entirely lacks basic human empathy for the survivors.
She views people as data points, not fragile humans. That is such a heavy, valid point.
Watching these two best friends fundamentally break over this ethical divide is heartbreaking.
But the universe does not give them a moment to breathe. The very next morning, Pip is actually hovering her cursor over the delete button for the podcast.
She is genuinely considering taking it down to save her friendship. But the doorbell aggressively rings.
She opens the door, and it is Connor Reynolds. His face is completely drained of color.
And he drops the narrative bomb that launches the season. His older brother, Jamie, is missing.
He hasn't been seen since the 1920s murder mystery party. And we have to emphasize, Jamie is not just a random suburban teenager wandering off.
He is the secret, highly protected, key eyewitness for the prosecution in the Max Hastings trial.
He is the singular human being who can corroborate the identity of the anonymous victim, Woman A.
And now, precisely 2 days before the trial is set to begin, he completely vanishes into thin air.
The timing is astronomically suspicious, which perfectly bridges us into our segments.
It is time to determine the most suspicious human alive.
The nominees for this extremely toxic award are Max Hastings, Robin Hastings, and our dark horse, Jason Bell.
Let's debate who emits the shadiest frequency. Let's begin with the most obvious vector, Max.
The empirical evidence against him is overwhelming. He is actively engaged in felony witness tampering.
He is the verified architect behind the creepy duct tape newspaper.
He deliberately lured Pip into a graveyard to threaten her. He operates with the desperate energy of a cornered animal.
And if anyone possesses the financial means to hire muscle and the motive to make Jamie disappear, it is undeniably Max.
He is deeply terrifying, specifically because he is insulated by wealth. He assumes his problems can be bought or buried.
But we absolutely must pivot and examine the wild card, Robin Hastings.
Ah, Robin, Max's cousin. A brand new character conceptualized exclusively for the television adaptation.
He does not exist anywhere within the pages of the original novels.
And what makes me want to scream into a pillow is that he is currently dating Pip's close friend, Lauren Gibson.
The absolute betrayal.
How are you going to romantically entertain the blood relative of the man who terrorized your entire friend group? Makes zero sense.
Let's inject the Reddit consensus on Robin. The online community was highly vocal about his addition.
Oh, they definitely were.
The overarching sentiment is that Robin is an insufferable tool. The consensus is that the showrunners injected him to heighten emotional tension, replacing the character Ant from the books.
In his introductory scenes, he is incredibly abrasive, mocking CPR training, acting completely useless at the calamity party when Cara goes missing.
But we have to separate being a terrible boyfriend from being a criminal operative. Is he structurally suspicious? Could Robin be acting as a proxy for Max? If Max's bail conditions prevent him from going near witnesses, what if he deployed his cousin to infiltrate the friend group?
He has direct access to Lauren, which means he has indirect access to Pip's schedule.
Exactly. It is highly suspicious behavior.
Okay, the proxy theory is solid, but I am going to push back. I argue that neither of the Hastings boys takes the crown.
Oh, a strategic pivot. Defend the thesis.
The true, most sinister dark horse for the most suspicious human alive award is the corporate ghoul himself, Jason Bell. Think about the mechanics of his sociopathy. His cruelty is entirely bureaucratic. He legally coerced his own traumatized daughter to drop out of a trial solely to protect his property contracts.
That is true.
If Jason is cold-blooded enough to sell out his child to maintain profit margins, what else is he capable of?
Could he have discovered Jamie was the secret witness?
Yes. Could Jason be financially involved in funding Jamie's disappearance to ensure the trial collapses? He operates with absolutely zero moral compass.
That is a terrifying theory. Jason Bell represents the banality of evil. He isn't sending creepy newspapers. He is making backdoor financial deals.
Exactly.
Which leads us into analyzing the most dangerous decisions executed in this episode and our next segment. Things we would have never done.
Let's discuss exactly how fast we would have evacuated the premises. First on the docket, the graveyard meetup.
Please set the scene.
Pip opens her locker in a brightly lit hallway, and an anonymous note reads, "I have information on Max. Meet me at 8 p.m. in the graveyard."
And what does our highly intelligent protagonist do?
Does she hand the evidence to the police? Does she text Ravi for backup? No. She puts on her little trench coat and trots down to the literal cemetery in the suffocating fog.
During a town memorial service, slipping away from a crowd of safe, functioning adults.
I am still reeling over the absolute lack of self-preservation. If I found that note, I would have immediately called the authorities, engaged every deadbolt on my doors, and consumed my weight in crab dip in my bed.
With every light bulb in the house burning at maximum wattage.
I would never participate in society again.
The survival instinct is clocking in at 0%. If the proposed setting is graveyard at night, the answer is a non-negotiable no.
And the second massive violation of common sense, ignoring the threatening newspaper.
Let's unpack the psychology of this craft project from hell. Someone plastered heavy-duty silver duct tape over her mouth in a photograph.
With the text, "Planning a funeral." If that materialized inside my foyer, I'm immediately calling a real estate agent.
Packing 3 suitcases.
Listing the property below market value and relocating to a different continent where nobody knows my name.
And we have to serve a little more Reddit tea regarding this specific prop.
Oh, right, the big fans were spiraling.
The visual thread of the duct tape gives massive, undeniable foreshadowing to As Good as Dead, the third, incredibly dark book.
Seeing that specific imagery deployed this early made the fandom speculate wildly. Are they intentionally rushing the plot architecture?
Are they combining elements because they are terrified of streaming metrics and not getting a 3rd season?
That theory makes me so nervous about the pacing. But regardless, the second a serial killer arts and crafts project breaches your home, it is time to abandon ship.
The property value in that town must be an absolute free fall anyway. Just cut your losses.
But Pip stays because Pip fundamentally believes she's the only capable entity in the universe.
Which transitions perfectly into our next segment. The main character Detective Delusion Award.
I think we both know exactly who secures the crown this week.
The victor is, unequivocally, Miss Pip Fitz-Amobi.
The sheer volume of her delusion is staggering. Let's review the tape. We are at the 1920s murder mystery party.
Everyone is actively playing a scripted boxed game with literal rule cards.
And Pip stands up, adopts this smug posture, and confidently accuses Inspector Humphreys of being the fictional killer.
She launches into an elaborate diatribe about boat schedules and the timing of the appetizer course, speaking with the unshakable authority of Sherlock Holmes.
And she is completely, embarrassingly incorrect. Connor reads the solution card, and it turns out that Pip's assigned character was the actual killer the entire time.
She completely missed the plot of a rigid game she was actively participating in, and I am going to be deeply shady about her reaction.
Go for it.
Pip is physically allergic to being wrong. When Connor reveals she is the killer, she actually gets defensively rigid. She argues with the logic of the cardboard box.
It's true.
It perfectly illustrates that Pip possesses a massive, fragile ego. She genuinely believes her frontal lobe operates on a higher frequency than the rest of humanity.
Okay, I hear the shade, but I have to fiercely defend my girl Pip for just a second.
Defend the delusion.
She is just incredibly passionate. She craves order and justice so deeply that she tries to enforce it even within a fake parlor game.
But the irony is catastrophic. She fails a fake mystery game, but the very next morning, when Jamie goes missing in the real world, she immediately decides she is the singular, most qualified person to locate him.
The detective delusion is operating at maximum capacity, but we have to concede one point to her. She consistently manages to stumble into these micro details that everyone else ignores.
Which leads us into our final segment, Tiny Clues We Became Obsessed With.
This is where we spiral into the granular details that probably mean nothing but consumed us anyway.
I need to immediately discuss the shadow outside the window.
Yes. Right after Pip hits upload on her podcast in the dead of night, she hears a sharp noise outside.
She peers through the glass, and the camera reveals a figure dressed in black, sprinting away from her property.
Who was it? Was it Max Hastings, retreating after dropping off the duct tape newspaper?
That is the linear assumption. But I have a wilder theory. I believe the shadow was Robin Hastings.
Okay, explain.
Max's legal team likely instructed him to stay away from the victim's circle to avoid bail revocation. But Robin is an unmonitored variable.
Right.
What if Robin is acting as Max's physical spy, prowling around Pip's house late at night to execute intimidation tactics?
I am officially accepting the Robin is the shadow theory as canon. But the other tiny detail keeping me awake at night is the mystery of the Woman A texts.
The absolute crux of the mystery. Jamie receives a flurry of texts at the party and panics.
Later, Pip pieces together that Jamie knows the true legal identity of Woman A.
I am absolutely losing my mind trying to calculate who it could be. Is it someone currently operating within their immediate friend group?
And the most terrifying question, did Jamie go missing voluntarily to protect her? Did he run away to draw the heat away from Woman A before the trial?
Or the darker option, did Max Hastings deploy someone to kidnap Jamie to completely destroy the structural integrity of the trial?
If Jamie is gone, Max essentially wins the trial by default. The stakes are incredibly high, and it is so deeply stressful.
We will dissect every frame of the next episode when the time comes, but for now, we have to sit in the uncomfortable suspense.
Ugh, the waiting is the worst part. While Snark Squad, that completely wraps up our intensive exploration of Season 2, Episode 1.
It has been an incredibly messy, analytical journey through the psychology of suburban crime.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, drinking your spicy mules, and surviving the absolute toxicity of Little Kilton.
But before we sign off, we have a strict call to action for the community. We need you to answer these questions directly in the comments.
Or slide into our DMs. We are demanding answers. Number 1, who do you fundamentally trust the least in this messy town?
Are you casting your vote for the arrogant Max, the proxy spy Robin, or the corporate sociopath Jason Bell?
Number 2, what is your exact zodiac sign, and did we accurately read you to absolute filth in the horoscopes today?
Be completely honest about your flaws. Number 3, is crab dip an elite tier appetizer? Yes or yes?
There is only one scientifically correct answer to this inquiry.
And number 4, what is the very first completely absurd luxury item you are purchasing when you win the lottery this weekend?
I expect to see detailed architectural renderings of your solid gold bathtubs.
Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the show with all your messy besties.
We absolutely love expanding the Snark Squad community.
We truly do.
And to leave you all with one final lingering thought to keep your brain spinning at 3 a.m.
Prepare yourselves.
If Jamie Reynolds is the singular human being who possesses the ability to identify Woman A,
does the fact that he went missing mean that the victim is actually someone we and Pip already know?
someone they interact with and see every single day,
Trust absolutely no one. Watch your backs, babes.